Good afternoon, everybody. Thank you for joining us for the June monthly membership meeting of the Carbondale Chamber of Commerce. Today's meeting is a hybrid with limited audience in person, while most of you are joining us virtually. Special thanks to Deborah Barnett and Amy Wigfall of the SIU Research Park for their technical assistance. Additional thanks to the Carbondale Township for allowing us to utilize their conference room to broadcast. Today's caterer is McAllister's. Thank you in advance for your patience as we work through our new virtual format. And I will now turn it over to Jennifer Phillips to introduce today's speaker.
Thanks. Do I need to go someplace or is this okay right here? Oh, okay. All right. Good afternoon, everyone. I'm Jen Phillips. I am the Associate Director of Admissions for Recruitment at SIU. I'm also a member of the Saluki Pride Committee for the Chamber. I would like to introduce our guest today, which is John Frost. John is my boss, and he earned his degree in broadcast journalism, started his career in TV broadcasting before he transitioned to higher education. And he might tell you this, he never in a million years thought that he would see himself in higher education. He also obtained his master's degree in organizational performance from Bellevue, where he also served as the community college outreach manager and the assistant director of regional operations. He also earned experience working at Metropolitan Community College and Webster University. At SIU, John oversees recruitment and admission strategies focused on bringing awareness of assistance to new and transferring students. I have John Frost with us today. If you can all welcome him, please, the Director of Undergraduate Admissions at Carbondale, and he's going to tell us more about the business of admissions and how we close the sale on securing a new student.
All right. All right, well, thank y'all very much. Thank you, Jen Phillips, as I always affectionately call JP. I really appreciate the time and opportunity today to speak with you all. And thank you for making time out of your day. We all know things have changed here in the last few months, but one thing I can guarantee you is that our passion, our commitment to recruiting students hasn't changed. One of the things that we have said is that this is not an obstacle, it's an opportunity. It's an opportunity to show that Southern Illinois University Carbondale is not a university that's behind, but it's in front. And one of the things I can guarantee you and I can tell you is that we've been doing a lot of innovative things to stay engaged with our students, to stay engaged with the community, and also stay engaged with those gatekeepers. But before I jump into my remarks, let me see how many people are Southern Illinois alumni. All right, and even virtually, all right. So let's take a step back. Let's think about Southern Illinois University, especially for your alumni, or if you just went to college. Let's take a step back and think about college. Now, think about your favorite moment in college. Think about it. Take your time. I know it may have been a while ago, so I know you may need time to bring it back, right? You know? Now think about that. Think about that favorite moment. Think about that experience, your college moment. When you think about college, what comes to mind? Are you there? Can you see it? If you can smell it, right? For me, my college moment, to be honest, and I make sure this is not a love story, but it's when I met my wife. I met my wife in college. I also met some of my best friends. That's still my friends to this day. That's my college moment. Just that feeling of feeling like I belong somewhere. I always say the example. We all done sat in a lunchroom before, right? And you sit with those same group of people throughout your high school career, throughout college. You sit with those same group of people, right? But when those people are not around and you have to sit with somebody else, it feels a little awkward, doesn't it? It feels a little weird. The number one thing that we want to make sure that we do for the students that we serve, the parents that we meet, is provide them with that college moment. It's to provide that feeling that you belong. Now, let's be honest, not everybody belongs to Southern Illinois. As much as we would love to have everybody come to Southern Illinois University, right? Our job is to make sure it's a great fit. And that's what we do. That's what we do day in and day out. This isn't, I always tell people, and JP mentioned it, I never thought in a million years I would have this opportunity to be able to influence the future. No matter what happens to me from this day on, I have influenced a legacy that will go on for the next 100 years. Because I get the opportunity to allow people to be better, to make their community better, to make their family better, That's how important education is. I always tell everybody this. There's two things in life nobody can never take away from you. It's your high school degree or diploma or GED and your college degree. Nobody can never take that away from you. And for me, used to be a tall, skinny kid from North Carolina, gets to provide that type of opportunity to people that I'd never met before. Wow, what an incredible experience. What an incredible opportunity. What an incredible privilege. So this is what this is about. Now let's talk a little bit about admissions. And I'll take you back to when I first started. I'll be honest with you. When I first got here, there was a lot of work to do. A lot of work to do. The number one thing that I knew I had to recognize and I had to address was culture. The culture wasn't the culture that I was comfortable with. The culture wasn't a culture that I felt like was going to get us to where we want to be. And so we had to make some adjustments. We had to make some changes. We all hear that buzzword, culture, and what that means. But let me tell you this a real brief story about culture. I just heard this, and I was like, I'm going to use this in my presentation today. So there was a guy who owned a furniture store. And we all have been in furniture stores and things like that. And one of his best people that he had was a lady that had been working there for like 20 years. Really top performer, could sell furniture to anybody. But she was very direct. She did what she needed to do. She did her job very well. But anyway, this furniture owner tells the story that one day he was in his office and he heard this sound that he had never heard before. He was like, who is that? What is that? And then he went out of his office and looked, and it was this lady, the top performer. The sound that he heard was laughter. Something that we all have done, right? She was laughing in such a way that he was like, wow, like, what's going on, you know? And so he realized, he's like, what type of culture have I allowed to be here that in 20 years that she's worked here, she never felt comfortable expressing herself that way, having that type of energy. And then that's when he realized, it's great that she's a top performer. It's great that we're a successful furniture store, but I need to touch base and understand what is our culture? Because I want to make sure people can feel like they can be themselves. And then I can hear that noise. That shouldn't have been the first time that he had heard that noise. That should be something he should hear every day. And it goes back to what we get to do. We have to enjoy this. At the end of the day, as I said, we get the privilege of influencing the future. And one of the things that I'm proud to say today is that the culture that we have in our admissions office is that you hear that laughter. You hear that joking around. You hear that engagement with each other. Now, granted, we went virtual, so you don't get a lot of that organic. But let me tell you, if you've ever been on one of our Zoom calls, I would guarantee you probably spend the first 10 to 15 minutes laughing and engaging with each other. Now, why is that important with admissions? Well, you all know, you can tell when you walk in a place if there's tension. You can tell if you walk in a place if they're divided. You can tell if you walk in a place or you engage with somebody if they're unhappy, if they're not proud to do the things that we get to do. But let me tell you, ladies and gentlemen, we're proud to be Salukis. We're proud to go out here and spread the good news about Southern Illinois University. Now, that's great. Now, I guess the question you all would have was, well, how do you do that? Well, it's really simple. There's 3 philosophies that we had to understand before we made the decision for we can execute what we're doing today. First, we had to have a plan. Well, let me take it back. First, we had to have the right people. We had to have the right people. We had to have people that believe in Southern Illinois. We had to have the right people that wasn't there just to do a job, but it was actually there to make and change lives. That's what we had to do. And I can proudly say that's what we did. We went through, when I can tell you at one point in time last summer, we only had 5 admission coordinators in our office, okay? 5 admission coordinators. Now we have 17. So that just told you where we was at. We had 5 admission coordinators, and now we're up to 17. And I guarantee with those 17, and then also, we did not have an associate director, we did not have an assistant director. I didn't even have a system. Wasn't anybody's fault. I'm not saying that. It was just a part of the transition, right? It was just part of the navigation of us transitioning to a different philosophy. So that's the first thing we had to do. We had to get the right people in there. But then we had to come up with a plan, right? We had to come up with a plan. Now, for some of you all, making it about business, as you all know about successful business, you can't have a successful business if you don't have a plan. You can't hope and wish. One of the things I'll tell people is hope is not a strategy. We actually have to have a plan. We have to have a plan of execution. You know, it starts from the top level and work its way down. But we also even graduated to the point that, yeah, Jen Phillips, Josie Ross, who's our assistant director, Amanda Sutton, who's another associate director for operations. It's great that they can have a plan, but to get the buy-in for the admission coordinators that we serve, they have to have an individual plan within their territory, okay? So let me tell you a little bit about just an experience with admissions. How many people here remember their admission counselor? Shame on them, right? Our job is to make sure that you're going to remember our admission counselors, our admission coordinators. Because here's the thing, a lot of people either already made up their mind they was coming to Southern Illinois, or they was going to some particular university, and guess what? They probably figured it out on their own, right? They kind of talked to mom, talked to boyfriend, girlfriend, or somebody close to them, called the 1-800 number, kind of helped navigate the situation, went to the website, things like that. Our job is to make sure you know who your admission counselor, your admission coordinator is, to guide you through that process. And that starts with a plan. And that's what we want to make sure that you're able to do. And so with that plan is, what exactly do your territory look like? What exactly, how many different table sets do you need to have? How many visits to high schools that you need to have? How many phone calls do you need to make? Long story short, as we all know with business and with the admissions world, you have to get inquiries. To then get inquiries, you have to get those inquiries to turn to applications. Those applications eventually turn to something that we call actionable applications, which, long story short, is a complete application, right? That complete application then allows us to work with you to get admitted. Once you get admitted, then you get registered for class. For each of the admission coordinators, they actually have a fundamental plan that they can look at to see, okay, this is how many I need to get to this, to get to that, or this is how I accomplish my goal. Because unfortunately, shame on us if we just tell somebody, well, you know what, you seem like a really nice person, you know a little bit about Southern Illinois, good luck, God bless, and go sell Southern Illinois. That's disrespectful, and shame on us. Because the one thing I will say, we're not about just giving you information. Because guess what? These kids and parents have this thing. They can get all the information they want from this thing. So then the question is, why do I need to talk to you? Why do I need to talk to you? Why? I can find out how much it costs to go to Southern Illinois to this thing. I can find out the program. Why do I need to talk to you? Because what we emphasize is not just being informational, but being inspirational. Because we know that college journey isn't a sprint, it's a marathon. And you may be the first person that they ever have encountered that believe that they can get to the finish line. What does it mean for you to get this degree? What does it mean for you to come to Southern Illinois? And then also, I need to find out what exactly do you know or don't know about Southern Illinois, but I can help facilitate that. So like I said, the first part is a plan, which falls into that second step, which is engagement. That engagement. What does engagement look like? Is it just a phone call? Is it just an email? What we have developed is an engagement strategy to help navigate the conversation, to help navigate that person from start to finish through the enrollment process. And one of the things that we say, and to jump back to the sales aspect, because some people get a little weird when you hear education organizations talk about sales. They take it as if we're going to convince you or make you sign up to come to Southern Illinois. Not even the case. What we're doing is providing you the options about Southern Illinois. At the end of the day, we all have heard customers are always right. We all heard it, right? What I was told is, yeah, there's a little bit more to that. Customers are always right, but they always have the right to leave. They always have the right to leave this engagement. They always have the right to leave this partnership. So one of the things that we say is we go for no. We're going to question exactly what is it that you're looking to do to come to Southern Illinois? You know, is it because you just want to take a criminal justice program? Well, you can do that anywhere. Is it just because, you know, we got the Shawnee National Forest? Fantastic. You don't have to come to Southern Illinois to go to Shawnee National Forest. We would love for you to do that. But what is it that you really want to accomplish to come to Southern Illinois and have that conversation? Because here's the thing, it may not be a good fit. And so we want to make sure that you're comfortable to say, hey, you know what, John, this isn't going to work for me. No problem. No problem. Let me know if your mind changes. However, if this is going to work for you, what we're going to establish is an upfront contract with you, right? And the upfront contract is pretty much, for example, hey, you know what? Sounds like we may have some things to offer you in regards to Southern Illinois. What are your thoughts about us maybe setting up a Zoom appointment and kind of talking through this? What are your thoughts about that? Oh yeah, that sounds great, John. Yeah, let's do that. All right, fantastic. What would be the best time to do that? John, maybe on Tuesday. All right. So what should I do if I reach out to you on Tuesday and you don't answer? What should I do? Putting them back in their court. At the end of the day, their help, here's the thing. They're driving the car. We're just the passenger. At any given point, they can stop and say, can you leave? I want somebody else in this passenger seat. But that's what it's about. It's about having meaningful interactions, meaningful conversations. A lot of times, as I mentioned, people have a misconception of what a recruiter is. As JP like to say, it's more than pens and pamphlets, right? A pamphlet has never made somebody say, I'm going to this school. But I guarantee, if I make that person feel, as I mentioned before, like they belong, they'll do everything in their power to get there. I guarantee that. And that's what we're trying to do. That's what we're trying to accomplish. That's part of the engagement. We have an engagement strategy. I can go on and on about engagement because I love it, because it's such an important piece. We don't take any student, any interaction, any parent, any gatekeeper for granted. Everything counts, but it's about spending time. But it's also, as we tell our coordinators, you're a professional conversationalist. You have to understand how to navigate this conversation. Because, you know, we get in a room with somebody, or we get on a virtual call, we can be on that call for 2 hours, and we let that person go. We didn't even get them to do an application. We didn't make any steps to move them towards the process, right? But if we're professional conversationalists, we have navigated this. And when we get off the phone, they know exactly what they need to do, and we know exactly what we can expect from them, all right? Again, that's just a piece of it. The last point with the strategy in which we're trying to implement, and then I'll jump into a few different other things, is the follow-up. Follow up and follow through. Let me ask you all, has anybody here ever been lost before? Few of us, right? Have you ever been lost, and if you don't show up, it may change the dynamic of your life? Has that ever happened to anybody? Somewhat, right? I mean, if you have a job and they say you need to be somewhere at 10 o'clock, and if you don't show up on time, you may lose that job, right? Let me take you back. Imagine if you are 18 years old, 17 years old, maybe you're a transfer student, and you want to go to Southern Illinois University, and you have put an application in, and you have no idea what to do. And you're calling people, reaching out to people, nobody's giving you a response. You feel lost. You feel uncomfortable, ticked off, because you've been telling everybody, hey, I'm going to go to Southern Illinois. I'm going to do this. This is my program. This is what I want to do. But nobody has touched base with you. One of the most important things that we get to do that separates us from any other school, and I will go against anybody, is our follow-up and follow-through plan. We take that seriously. We want to make sure that we're going to always be engaged in following up with the students that need services. Again, we're trying to get you to the destination. Sometimes we see ourselves as a GPS. We want to get you to where you want to go, right? But again, it goes back to the engagement. It's how we do that. It's making sure we have an understanding. Touching base, email, phone, social media, all of those different types of things. And one of the things I can tell you that I'm really proud to say with the team that I serve, things are tough right now. We don't know what tomorrow looks like. Heck, we don't even know what 2021 looks like. We don't know if we'll ever get back to the point that we can all be in the room together and just have that organic interaction. But the one thing that I'm so proud of the team that I serve that we have done is that we have took virtual, because the good news is we were doing virtual things before this happened. So you should all be proud that we was doing some of these things. We was out in front of it. And we was able to deliver, not too long ago, our first virtual open house. And it went fantastic, thanks to that young lady there and her help. So here's the thing. For us, this is different. But for some of you young people, they're used to learning and interacting through a square. They're used to that. And one of the things I always try to tell people when I get the opportunity to speak in front of people is that this thing has changed, and it's obviously changing more. It used to be that when we recruit students back in the day, it was kind of a parent-child relationship. Hey, I'm going to tell you what you need to know for you can go and get a job and be successful. Ladies and gentlemen, that game has changed. You have students now who have 3,000 followers. They're telling their parents, they're telling people that are close to them, I want to be a mogul. It used to be, you work hard, maybe one day you'll be a manager. You work hard, maybe one day you'll be a boss. They believe and see themselves today as bosses right now. And when they walk through that door, they're not looking for you to tell them what they need to know. They're looking for you to work with them in a partnership mentality. Because they're saying, hey, I'm bringing 3,000 followers to your school. What you gonna do for me? I'll wait. And if you're just gonna sit there and say the same rhetoric that we said 5, 10, 20 years ago, they're gone. They're gone. They're looking to be partners. And that's why I say it's like a business. For some of these students that we serve, this is their first business meeting. So we have to conduct it as such. What is it that you're expecting to get out of this? What is it that you need from us? How can we work together? That's the mentality. That's the mentality that we've changed. It's not just somebody sits in front of us and we just regurgitate stuff that we've seen in a catalog or regurgitate stuff that's on a website. They want to increase their brand. Somebody not too long ago in a meeting at JP and I was in asked, what is a Saluki? What is a Saluki? I said, a Saluki, it could be a variety of things. One thing I guarantee is that these students now that are coming through are looking to build their public persona. Do we got a major for that? Have you heard about a major for that? So I think we probably want to think about that, right? Because it's more than just saying, hey, I want to study criminal justice. It's more than just saying, hey, I want to study nursing. They want to know, how will Southern Illinois build my public persona? Because guess what? My son is, I got 5 and 7-year-old. My 7-year-old doesn't have a favorite TV show. He doesn't have a favorite TV show, but he does subscribe to all these different people on YouTube. He says, Dad, I want to be a YouTuber. So that's what I'm saying. That's just part of our lexicon now. Things have changed and things have continued to change. I think COVID-19 has kind of sped up the process that we have to understand how to engage virtually, have to understand how to recognize the people that we're working with and their, if you want to say their public persona, their public currency that they bring to a university. Because trust me, if I have a student that has 100,000 followers that wants to come to Southern Illinois University, imagine how many people he gets to touch for us for free. And so with that follow-up, and as we work somebody through the process, as I said, we have to have a plan, we have to engage, we have to follow up, and we have to follow through. But the last thing that we mentioned with our coordinators, if you had a good experience, the one thing that we always want to make sure that we ask, what's better than, in any of you guys' business, what's better than one sale? What's better than one sale? Two, there we go. It's just that easy, right? 2 sales, right? 3 sales, 4. Now, how many times have we had a good interaction with somebody and we've done what we needed to do and they're going to go off and be happy? And guess what we forget to do? Ask for that referral. Ask about more information. Here's the thing. It's more than just asking who else do I need to talk to maybe come to Southern Illinois University. It's more than that now. It's who else can I talk to who wants to come to Southern Illinois University? But then at the same time, where else in the community should I be? Which I will ask you all today. Oh yeah, I have an ask. Is how can we partner? But that's one thing that we ask. But another thing is that we want our coordinators to ask, hey, do you mind putting some on social media for us? Do you mind spreading the good news on your platform? Because they have a platform. That's important. That's that free publicity. That's that free press. That's that free understanding for them to spread the gospel for us, to get the word out about some dynamic things that we're doing. I'll finish up by saying this. Just like I mentioned at the beginning, it's a pleasure and honor to get to do what I get to do every day. It's a pleasure and honor to be here. It's a pleasure and honor to serve the team that I do, and I want to make sure I give these folks a shout out. Jennifer Phillips, who's our Associate Director of Recruitment, who's done a fantastic job in training and coaching our team on a day in and day out basis. Amanda Sutton, who works for our operation teams, who keeps the applications and our CRM and all those different things keep running. Also, Josie Ross, who's our transfer assistant director, does a great job with partnerships with the community colleges and things like that. And then all of our coordinators and all the communications team and all the different people that we serve that you guys may not get to see or hear about. It's because of them that I can stand in front of you today and tell you all that with our transfer numbers and our first-time college students, our numbers are up. And as I said with this, is that there's a lot of schools right now that are preparing to say things are going to be down due to COVID. I cannot make any promises, but I have a sneaky suspicion that we're going to be one of those schools that say we was up in spite of COVID. How about that? So last thing, we would love to learn more. We would love to work. There's still a lot of work for us to do. I guarantee, as I said before, we're committed to what we're doing, to bringing students here, to give them the experience they want. But I would love for you all to reach out to us to let us know about any partnership opportunities, how we can get the word out, how we can connect more with folks, because I think that's the most important thing. You don't know what you don't know. So our thing is to make people know as much as possible. So please, if you have some good opportunities, if you actually want to come in and speak to some of our coordinators, now more virtually than anything, let us know. Because I think it's so important they know some of the community members and business members. So please feel free to contact me at john.frost@siu.edu. And again, it's a pleasure. Thank you. Go dogs, exactly.